Greetings everyone, I am Jenessil Lobiano and this is our video presentation in Science, Technology and Society G7 Chapter 3 Science, Technology and Nation Building. This is a performance test by Tetrex. Instructions: select any Philippine president who ruled after Ferdinand Marcos. Identify some achievements in the field of science and technology under the regime of your chosen Philippine president, and trace how they helped shape the Philippines as a nation. As a group, we choose President Rodrigo Duterte. Rodrigo Duterte, also known as Digong, Brody, and by the initials PRRD, is a Filipino politician who is the 16th and incumbent president of the Philippines and the first from Mindanao to hold the office. He is the chairperson of PDP Laban, the ruling political party in the Philippines. He was born on March 28, 1945 at Maasin City. His presidential term started on June 30, 2016 up to this present generation. President Duterte's contribution reveal? Watch this. First is the campaign against illegal drugs. As President Rodrigo Duterte assumed office in 2016, the Philippine government launched a nationwide anti-drug campaign based on the enforcement-led anti-illegal drugs policies primarily implemented by the National Police. This was followed by a spate of killings resulting from both acknowledged police operations and by identified assailants. This study assembles a victim-labeled dataset of drug-related killings covered by the media during the Philippine government's anti-drug campaign and presents a spatial and temporal analysis of killings. Hugely popular, with almost 2 of every 3 Filipinos believing that number of drug users in their area has been reduced since Duterte came to power in 2016. Tokhang, a slang meaning knocking at your doors in search for criminals, has resulted in some 7,000 drug lords and addicts eliminated from the face of the earth in just 2 years. Twice the number of the late Ferdinand Marcos was accused of killings in 20 years of strongman rule. Human rights watchers insist Duterte's killed more than 27,000 but give no proof. Crime likewise came down. The campaign invested Duterte's within the gravitas of a strongman, a leader who can get things done by sheer power of his will and that of his police and armed forces.
So hi guys, in this video I will going to make a video about the contribution of President Rodrigo Duterte in terms of science and technology. President Rodrigo Duterte, current President of the Philippines. He was elected to a 6-year term in May 2016, took office on June 30. Rodrigo Duterte was known by his nickname Digong. He is a lawyer and politician of Visayan descent from the southern islands of Mindanao. Now, here are some of his contributions in the field of science and technology. Sanctioning of abusive utilities. The President went hammer and tongs against utilities like waters and telco. He sought to scrap the long-term contract secured in 1997 of 2 major water concessionaires serving 16 million customers in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. This is the Manila Water Corporation, the First Pacific Limited Group of Anthony Salims of Indonesia and Filipino CEO Manuel V. Pangilinan, and the Manila Water Corporations of the old-time Ayala family and the Singapore government, unless they accept new contract with better terms to the Philippine government. Stung, the 2 water companies gave up 11 billion or an arbitral award. Refund from unapproved the rates increase. Ayala's Manila Water sold 25% of its equity to Ports tycoon Enrique Rizon for 10 billion pesos, with the latter eventually taking control of the utility. The other of his contributions are passport validity extensions to 10 years, driver's license validity extensions to 10 years. Okay. Stay for penalties for hospital refusing to treat patients. The indefinite ceasefire between MNLF and MILF, CPP, NDF, and the government. This is held in Norway. Republic Act 10931. This promotes universal access to quality tertiary education by providing free tuitions in state universities and colleges. Duterte also signed RE 10969 providing free irrigation service for local farmers who own 8 hectares of land or less. Other priority measures of RA 11032 on promoting ease of doing business and efficient delivery on government services. RA 10969 for an act institutionalizing the Philippine Qualification Framework, and RE 11035 for an act institutionalizing the Balik Scientist Program. President Rodrigo Duterte signed into law Republic Act number 10963, otherwise known as the Tax Reform Act Accelerations and Inclusion Trend Act. So that all of some contribution in the field of science and technology. Eventually there are many more to tackle, but this could be all. Thank you.
I am Kadusale. Number 3. Breakup of some oligarchies. The closure on May 5, 2020 of broadcast behemoth ABS-CBN Corp. of the old Globis oligarchy is not a retribution against a Pitch Sky media institution nor intended to intimidate, if not silence critics and media. If you believe government are native to break up oligarchies, the Lobises are not original Philippines oligarchy, whether power and influence dating back to 18,000s or 7 generations. The House of Representatives, where radio, TV, franchises rejected on July 4, 20, 9 bills seeking to renew for another 25 years. The franchise of ABS-CBN expired on May 4, 2020. In 1 year list, ABS-CBN's market value dropped from 13.54 billion in May 2019 to almost nothing by today. The company had to lay off nearly all of its 11,000 workers. For this, after the rejection, Duterte addressed drops in battle warly. Holo Solo. The president understood the Filipino and English. I can't fall from a plan. I am very happy. You know why? Without declaring martial law, I decimated the oligarchy that controlled the economy of Filipino people. The rich, he said, milk the government and the people. Without declaring martial law, I destroyed the people who struggle our economy and do not pay taxes. They take advantage of the political power. The emphasis on without declaring martial law, it meant to convey that Duterte was more powerful or probably smarter than the late Ferdinand Marcos, who had to declare martial law 1972 and proceeded to break up and various oligarchies, finally starting with Lobises, who ABS-CBN radio, TV, network was size.
Good day everyone, my name is Jeryl Ricaborda and I am the next reporter for this group. My assigned topic is all about savvy fiscal management. Under Duterte, the Philippines achieved in highest ever credit rating BBB+ in April 2020. Despite COVID-19, in June 2020, Japan Credit Rating Agency even upgraded the Philippines rating to A with a stable outlook. Japan's top debt watcher GCR is smaller than the top 3 credit rating agencies' Fitch Ratings, Moody's Inventory Service, and S&P Global Ratings. But the GCR upgrade came at a time when the Philippines was deep in the deepest recessions in its history as a result of the world's longest and most severe lockdown that shut down the economy for 7 months, increasing 73% of its GDP, closing 70% of business lying of some 20 million workers, and impoverishing half of the population. It's an instant. Each project are divided in the 3 subcategories: NIDA approved projects, NIDA ICC approved for NIDA approval, and the 4 ICC processing approval projects. There includes railway, bridge, 6 to link entire country, airports, terminals, BRTs, expressways, government center, and the housing. And that's all. Thank you and God bless.